Your recent article in The Atlantic is entitled "Putin Accidentally Revitalized the West's Liberal Order." And you write in part, quote, "Russia's invasion of Ukraine has unleashed a chorus of despair. Beyond the cost in Ukrainian lives, the international order that the U.S. and its allies built after World War II is, we are told, crumbling. The reverse is true. Vladimir Putin has attempted to crush Ukraine's independence and Westernness, while also demonstrating NATO's fecklessness and free countries' unwillingness to shoulder economic burdens in defense of our values. He has achieved the opposite of each, endeavoring to destroy the liberal international order. He has been the architect of its revitalization." You continue. "Bars are pouring out Russian vodka. Iconic architecture in cities all over the free world is lit up with the colors of the Ukrainian flag to show solidarity. Sports teams are refusing to play Russia in international tournaments. This is what free societies converging on an idea looks like. And the idea is this: resist Putin's evil."
Corey, thank you so much for being with us, and thank you for writing this. I grow so tired. I grow so tired of people talking about the West's collapse, its imminent demise. Some people obviously haven't got the memo. They're still writing about that. But it is extraordinary what's happened with liberal democracy over the past 3.5 weeks. It has won in a rout. All of those right-wingers that were snuggling up to Putin, snuggling up to Orban, you actually even have Orban, who is condemning Vladimir Putin. And who is our best ally right now on the ground? Poland. So from American politics to European politics, this has been an extraordinarily good 3.5 weeks for Western democracy to stand and rise for good against evil.
Yeah, that's right. We sometimes worry that our values aren't universal, or that people of the West won't shoulder any burdens to protect and advance them. And we have been validated in the notion that the yearning for freedom is universal and deserves our support. It was really touching yesterday to hear President Biden say, "America stands on the side of the forces of freedom." That's what's happening.
Yeah, and so Peter Baker, obviously, you're seeing a bipartisanship we haven't seen really since 9/11, and it's so interesting. I've read so many columns who said, "Oh, that 9/11 moment, it's just not possible anymore." Well, it's actually happened. You have a united Republican and Democratic Party. In fact, this is so bipartisan that it's almost humorous watching Republicans going on certain cable news networks trying to find a reason to be upset at President Biden, trying to say, "Oh, yes, he's done well this way, that, but he needs to do more." Well, of course, people say he needs to do more, but it's just like Rob Portman yesterday. But he also said he also has a coalition he has to keep together.
Well, I think that's right. But it's interesting. It is a little like 9/11 in the sense that there is a unanimity, more or less, among most policymakers in Washington, Republican and Democrat, about what needs to be done. There is some squawking, as you put it, about how fast or how tough, the Biden administration has been in implementing. But broadly speaking, even while they're critical of President Biden, they're supporting the same, approach and strategy, with the exception of the sort of the Tucker Carlson part of the political right. At the same time, that hasn't redounded yet to the president's political benefit. It's interesting; these polls do not show a post 9/11 kind of bounce. Right? President George W. Bush got up to around 90% in the polls after 9/11, whereas Biden is still, mired in the mid-40s. It has not brought the country behind him in that sense. Even on his handling of Russia, it's ticked up by a few points in the last couple of weeks, but it's still in the about 40% or so, 45% how people feel he's handling Russia. So that has not changed our broader polarization. I think there's a consensus largely, again, except for the people watching that one show, that Putin is bad and needs to be stood up to, and Biden Biden is doing that, but it has not yet brought the country together in a way behind him. Therefore, his policies are not for him.
So, Mike Barnicle, as Joe Biden wades his way through this, and of course, you think back to Afghanistan, the reaction, I am reading anecdotal news reports and some polls that support for Ukraine is growing, even for getting involved beyond any way that President Biden would allow.
Sure, you can feel it. You can sense it on the streets of nearly every American city. I mean, I'm in New York today. There are multiple stores with Ukrainian flags in the windows of their stores on 6th Avenue and places like that. But, you know, I'm told that the president is not so much focused on poll numbers, whether they're rising or whatever, in response to his actions in pulling together NATO countries. I'm told that what he's thinking about is October of 1962 and the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the fact that he believes that we are closer to a nuclear conflagration today than we were ever since 1962. And Corey, I'd like to ask you whether you think what the President of the United States has done in pulling NATO together, in keeping the NATO countries together, in support of Ukraine, do you think that this is one of those hinges of history where what has happened thus far will change the political, security, and geographic landscape of Western Europe for a decade or so?
I think it will change those aspects for much longer than a decade. If Ukraine succeeds in fighting Russia to a standstill, or preferably in ejecting Russian forces from Ukraine, I think you will see a rush on the part of NATO and the European Union to bring Ukraine into the safety of those institutions, because they have earned it with their courage and their resistance. I think Russia's military has been demonstrated to be much less proficient in almost every aspect of war fighting than any of us believed. And so you will see a Russia shrinking from Europe, but hopefully reconstituting itself along European lines. I really do think this is a moment like the end of World War II, where all of the boats are rocking, but the forces of freedom are doing what they need to preserve and protect themselves.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.